According to Strahd von Zarovich, Devil of Barovia, Madame Eva has been taken to Lamordia, the one place in all of Ravenloft that Elise did not want to go. We rejoin our heroes in the mists on their way to this dreaded domain. It will be another long journey, as they all are through the mists. Again, you do not feel the weariness of travel as you do this, but you do feel every aching minute as they pass. The mists surround you. You cannot see naught but the glow of Elise, and you cannot really feel anything other than just sort of the chill. But there is a pallid silence that has been traveling with you for a little bit of time now.
So, without thrusting any emotions out of you, Elise, what is it about this place that you fear?
We have talked about this before.
Not to the depth that I feel like would give me some insight on how to react in here.
Now that you have all been here, now that you have all encountered Dark Lords, now that you can see what they do to people, now you will know that Victra.
This is the Dark Lord of Lamordia.
The one who did this to me. The one who seeks me like Strahd sought that woman. The one that will never stop until she pulls this heart from my body or has me for herself.
But we will not let happen.
We cannot let her find me, and we need to find Madame Eva and get out before I can be detected. I do not know how this will be possible, but for many years I hid from her until I was able to escape only with the help of Merrick's. Only because...
This is a group conversation, by the way.
Okay, my lady, how can we conceal?
I've got an idea.
Or you? Is there any way that you know it?
I do have a few ideas, if you'll let me do a little work as we're walking.
Please.
Would the spell of non-detection help?
I think we can do a little better than that. But that's the right idea. But let me think about that. Please carry on.
We cannot make any ruckus here. We cannot draw attention here. If she finds me, I don't know what she will do. But she has done this to me already. She has made this abomination. And I swore I would never go back, and if it wasn't for what we had to just tell that woman, I would never have brought us here. But all of your words have sunk into me, and I know this is for the sake of saving the multiverse, and the only reason why I am coming.
Elise, she made you what you are, and it may feel like an abomination to you. But look at what you have done. Just here. And he actually pulls out, there are 2 things I took from my bag of holding. One of them is a sensory stone, and he pulls it up, and it's a stone he made of you fighting the Devourer, the last world, and bringing it down, and just saying, you have taken what she inflicted upon you. You have used that to save so many innocents. You are fighting for it now. I know it's horrifying. But you're not an abomination. You're a hero.
You're not the one who has to live like this. I can be both.
Very well.
My lady, You said we should not create a ruckus here. What is your advice on how we can best blend in and not create a ruckus here?
We will not go around killing people.
Well, hopefully they don't go around slaying innocents. And
Oh, you think not? You think they're not going around slaying innocents? You don't even know what we are about to walk into.
Enlighten us.
They do not merely slay innocents here. They slay them and they cut them up. They cut them up into little pieces and stitch them back together. And she will literally open up and show all of her scars everywhere. They create monsters. They create life from nothing. And she kind of does look back at Merrick's at this point. And you'll recall the argument from
The War Fortune?
He also, at that, he sort of winces a little when you were talking about just stopping and they shouldn't do things to innocents, and also says, and it's not simple. It's not kill the one person doing it and then the problem's solved. You save an innocent in that moment, they'll come back for them. They'll punish them. They'll punish their families. You can't just act here without knowing what the consequences of your actions are going to be, because innocents will die.
We also have a problem tactically. The Weavebreaker will not do the same as us, and to take the Weavebreaker down would require quite the pyrotechnics from us, which means that we will cause a ruckus, whether we like to or not.
we'll need to husband our strength.
Yeah, and when we do find that Weavebreaker, there is no holding back. This is not a Dreadlord.
This is only a partial solution to one of our lesser problems, but give me this. This is effectively a hat of disguise. You shouldn't be walking around. You don't want people here to recognize you. And so I'm just saying, concentrate on that. You can look like whatever you want.
Then, with that said, what should you look like and what should we look like as your companions?
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Paladin, I will not be using some of my powers in here.
Do I think that this disguise will work against her being able to, I know I was able to hide from her and she really couldn't find me, but okay.
That wasn't what I was suggesting, actually. I was going to actually say, so we talked before about the idea of weaving within to the heart a non-detection aspect. That was what I was actually talking about, of if we could bring that.
The heart power.
The heart power. This I was just saying, just so people on the street aren't like, hey, isn't that Elise? But can we get her non-detection on the heart?
Well, you said the other day that would be a thing, that no divination would work on me.
That's how non-detection works, yes.
Yeah.
So
is that possible?
Give me a tool check.
I love a tool check.
And then for this, would I know, because I actually I don't know. Do I know if she has any, does Elise know if she has any true sight or anything to be able to see through this?
She does not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but she's gadgety. So
gadgety, she's not really the magical kind of individual. She prefers the hard sciences. The only way she could be able to do that is if she found some sort of way to operate on a brain to allow it to see into other dimensions, which
probably
a little far-fetched, but if she has, it's not going to be something widespread.
Yeah, I know she's not gadgety in the way of Eberron, right? She's more weird science in the way of Frankenstein. So
she's mad science.
Yeah, mad science.
I wouldn't rely on it to hold up in front of her. I was just thinking just to not draw attention on the streets.
Okay.
But maybe. I mean, it would be lucky if it did, but I'm just saying.
I will take it.
I got a 40 on, yeah.
Okay.
And this is something I've been sort of working on for a while.
Here's what I'll give you then. Yeah, I think you can do this. I think it will cause you to move a lot slower if you want to do it while walking.
I think it's important.
At the very least, it's going to add an hour to your trip.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah.
So basically, the point is there was another ability on the heart that we can't actually quite even remember, and so we're modifying. So I'm just trying to adjust the the things, and I think this should shield you a lot better than it did previously.
Thank you.
Now, we still need a plan. I'm just saying we've at least covered. Victor should not be able to detect you.
When we encounter the Weavebreaker, it will be tempting to use your spells. We all know now, from traversing in Imaria, bless you, we all know now, traversing in Imaria and doing battle with these steel holders, that they have the ability to counter and manipulate your weave. My suggestion is we focus on melee and disarming the knight.
Question. We have encountered beings such as Harkin himself, capable of shrugging off a certain number of attacks. Even myself, I can counterspell if Melf tries to do something, but then if Shadowdale here does something, I'm out. Is this the case? Can he... How often can he do this? Can we wear him down and then affect him?
From what I remember, the higher ranking Weavebreakers have the ability to train and hone their reflexes enough to be able to stop multiple spells from happening. So trying to trick them is
Not a good...
It could possibly happen. There are 4 of you that could cast spells, myself included, if we need to try and drain it out. The problem is, we drop a 6th level... That's metagaming, hold on. Try it again. The problem is, we drop a fairly high-powered weave from Oerth, and you fire a disintegrate that will charge their weapons and give them twice the strength back against us.
So a couple of questions, just practically speaking. If I have summoned something ahead of time...
They cannot affect it as easily.
All right. And if someone were to create a large block of stone above him...
It all depends on how in-depth their training is with steel.
Okay. I understand it's better to avoid. I'm just trying to get our options out.
I think we take Amberfang, Hot Stuff, and the Zagag, and we go in and we pummel it up a bit. If you stay in the distance and take out those shield guardians for us, we should be able to whittle him down.
All right.
But the way that you have described this sword and the way that we have seen it so far is that if I was to take Hot Stuff and it takes this sword, would it not destroy Hot Stuff?
There is a chance that this one might be of such a power level, such training, that they have the ability to sunder, rend useless the weapons of our magic. Amberfang is resistant to such things, but maybe not in Ravenloft. So we need a better tactic. How are you with your ability to disarm? No.
He's good at removing arms.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
Yes, that is true.
wait.
I like what you're thinking, kid.
Wait. When you need to use this sword, let me rephrase. If I were to try to use this sword, could I?
Amberfang chooses who gets to use it, and it has chosen me.
Let me rephrase again. Do you need to focus in order to attune to this sword? Do you need to attach it to your soul and your being?
It has attached itself to me. I am its focus.
Let me rephrase.
I understand where you're going with this. Yeah, you're missing. It's not about you.
Intelligence of 10.
Not about you.
Does this Weavebreaker need to do this with his sword? Would removing that connection of attunement make it so that he could not use?
Holy crap.
Yes.
Yes.
However,
That's how it works.
Earmuffs! It's a
However,
I once met a
we haven't
fox.
published the book yet. Get ready now.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just make a quick
Conjure earmuffs.
Wow. Yes, a curse would definitely remove that from them. However, again, I'm assuming this Weavebreaker is of the highest regard. And I would remiss to say, if the blade is missing, the ability to absorb mana is removed. Typically. Atypically, they have other devices such as rings, shields. Even the armor itself sometimes can drain.
What is that one guy who had a false eye, too?
Yeah, we had to... Yes, there are... Wrong campaign.
I know, I'm just...
There is There are other methods, higher level powers to be able to absorb.
But so far we have only witnessed this sword, so we would assume that it's only this sword.
The sword is the main conduit, yes.
I mean, it's also, I believe you know,
DM.
it's also like the Emperor's sword. It's not just a red
Yeah.
weapon.
The last time I encountered the Emperor who had that sword, there was no...
I was smelling on the ever-smoking pipe to conjure popcorn.
The Emperor destroyed me.
I'm assuming that even if he has some other device, it would not be as powerful as what you've described all of these swords from before. The jet one, this one, that one.
Oh, it is not the power. Oh, it is not the power of the Fang. The only weave-breaking blade that has ever been put into existence was thanks to Merrick's and Adira. Adira's tear, they call it.
Yeah.
Then
Good
where
name.
is
See,
that?
people remember that.
Where is that? No.
I don't know.
I think we worried about that earlier, and then you said it wasn't. Like, that was the first thing we thought was maybe he was carrying the dearest tear, but I don't think that was the case.
He has the Emperor's blade. This is the most powerful and the first Rennick steel blade ever created.
So even if he has some other device, removing the sword from his possession would work.
It would be a good start.
Yes. Now, mind you, you've been to Imaria. We have the Pillars of Power, which means mana is the only weave that the blades can fight. Psionics and chronomancy, they do not have the power to fight.
Oh, good.
There might be some use of that. Let's make use of that properly in combat. Just remember, don't be hasted with your spells. And let's take out the shield guardians.
Just saying also, in the worst case scenario, stuff does get broken. It's not like you're traveling with a super genius artificer who might be able to put things back together. I'm just saying.
Perhaps the shield guardians don't have magical resistances, so perhaps...
Or do they? Can I see what I know about shield guards? Certainly, I mean, I am an expert in constructs, yeah, and that's a natural 20.
I'll over under on 42.
Take a guess.
I guess 42.
Okay, so this is my Arcana check, and it is plus 21
Okay.
plus a D4. So the mark of making. So 45. 45.
They have regeneration.
That's brutal.
Which works until they are absolutely destroyed. Then at that point, they are considered to be completely destroyed. They also...
Do you have spell resistance?
They do not have spell resistance. They are immune to a lot of conditions.
Yeah.
They do not have spell resistance.
So,
So those are the things you disintegrate.
or meteor swarm. And then even if the Rennick Knight isn't hurt by a meteor swarm, the shield guys are beaten up.
Bye.
Yes.
Worth a try. All right.
Because don't the shield...
I am more
the
concerned about Victra.
don't these sentinels also take damage for him or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you attack the wielder, it not only gives them a plus to their armor class, then it also transits damage.
So here's the plan.
We don't mean it.
The plan would be this. I think, and this is all to try and avoid Victor coming. Would you feel more comfortable taking down the shield guardians at first, or...
Shield guardians.
Okay, I will stand defense and engage the Weavebreaker and hold them off as long as I can, as defensive as I possibly can.
I
You-
aid you by trying to remove the sword. I will take...
You can try to remove the curse while I block them. And in the interim, the three of you take out the shield guardians, and then after that's complete, the three of us will converge on the Weavebreaker and pulverize them.
Right.
Seems like a good plan. I didn't even have to use suspend.
Nice.
No, you have hours of walking.
We're suspending ourselves in the mists.
This whole place kind of feels like suspend, frankly.
It really does, actually.
Yeah.
And you haven't wasted 10 hours of conversation. Interesting.
Okay, well, let me tell you about what I've been doing on Sigil, because you see, if you talk to the governors, and then I've been working with the bank.
Speaking of
it's
10
investments,
hours, that is indeed how long it takes for you to get through the mist.
Before we step out, one thing. We must be aware in this plan to protect Madame Eva, wherever she is. And if she is not with him, we need to be able to find her still.
If she is with him, Minister, would you protect Madame Eva?
I could try. I would still like to know, are we altering our appearances in any way?
I am.
To blend in? None of the rest of us. What if we're traveling as a group, what would we blend in the most being a group of?
Would you like a expose on Lamordia, at least?
Yes. Talk about it.
There's no check needed here. You know.
I mean, yes, I know it also. Go ahead.
It is a frigid land of barren mountains, frozen swamps, and icy seas. Its ruler, Baron von Aubrecker, hasn't left his estate for years, though he issues proclamations and sends agents to collect taxes. Steam power, driven by boiling sewers, fuels clockwork inventions and massive cranes in the city of Ludendorff. The necessity of such innovations in fending off starvation in the frigid environment encourages the scientists at Ludendorff University to push the boundaries of both science and morality. The reclusive genius Dr. Victor Mordenheim created or inspired Ludendorff's greatest innovations, and few voluntarily trek into Lamordia's wilderness, fearing freak blizzards, starving beasts, and creatures warped by strange radiation. If you were to be a large group traveling, you would either be merchants or miners.
Merchants seems right.
That's what I wanted, that last one.
Yes.
Yes, we should be merchants because my friend Morris here has so many gold coins to donate to the cause.
I will be the higher muscle.
I have a small bar's worth of gold coins, but I do have a couple of bottles.
I will be your security.
All right. Do we want to drop a seeming on this, or do we want to just use physical disguise?
What is the seeming?
Illusion.
Oh, the thing you did in
sort of I can do a
Oerth.
we can do a group version. Yeah,
Athas.
Exactly that.
Yes.
Do we want to do one of
It
those?
works so well on Athas.
It works very well on Athas.
So, because unfortunately, I normally would just have a big pile of costumes and such, but unfortunately, I kind of, jettisoned that to the astral plane. But I could whip up a seeming just to give us a very generic merchanty appearance.
Sure, yeah.
Just so we don't stand out and we're hiding like the armor, for example.
Yes.
Varix, I'm still going to use this.
I think you should.
Because just one thing is not going to necessarily be enough. I want to make sure that I am also changed in full appearance. Is the seeming that changes your face looks like? Mm. Because you could be recognized.
Yes.
Too.
No, that's why I think it's necessary.
If you are discovered, and if they come for you, we will not. We won't.
I'm just kidding.
See ya. No.
We will not hesitate to destroy them. Over and over again. Consequences.
You know what happens when you try to kill a Dark Lord. They come back.
It doesn't matter to me. I will not let them take you. The end. Closed for discussion, friend.
Well, now that we've got that out of the way.
I will choose to look like, I don't know, 5'11", dark-skinned man, muscular-bound man in this, like everything the opposite possible from me. And does this also change my voice?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because otherwise...
It's like a 5th level spell, right? Like,
well, that one that she's using is...
Oh, that's disguise self? I don't know if it would change your voice.
But then what I'm going to do is, and I know...
It's too bad.
I know that there were a few moments where you may have caught this.
No, I have an alchemy jug. Oh. Would you like to gargle some helium?
I know what she's going to say, so I want to hear this.
There were a few moments. I know it's been a little while. So do not be afraid. Because I actually talk like this. And so, if for some reason I do need to go and become invisible anyway, when you hear my voice, it will still be this. Because I cannot speak like a Barovian. She says it with like her little... It's going to be hard to shake. Mm-hmm. Here.
Alchemy jug's right here.
Merrick's, sort of...
But I will try to deepen my voice a little bit to be like a good... a dude. I don't know how to do after.
Should we all alter ourselves?
That's hard.
Okay, so coming back to my thing, so getting seeming together as the 5th level spell. You know, we've had time to make that change without taking damage. So, illusionary appearance to each creature of your choice within range, which is going to be all of you. Different appearance to each person. It can change the appearance of target's body and weapons. It can make them seem shorter or taller. Last for the duration. It appears this way, but it won't. So you won't look like you're wearing armor if you don't want to. But if someone pokes you, you're wearing armor. Now, my direction. I lived here in some not very nice parts of town for a couple of years. Like, I have a good sense of just what the people of Lamordia look like. So my sense would be, we don't really want to go the minor route because you're not actually from here. If people start saying, what mine do you work at? You know, the merchant is a better approach for us, but I can still make us essentially nondescript.
Perfect.
My feeling is, except for me, there's not a particularly huge reason to change, in probably you, there's not a particularly huge reason to change your basic physical appearance. I mean, we can take the ears off if you want, but I mean, like, I don't think people are going to be recognizing you here. So, you know, elves common in Lamordia or not?
They're not common, but they exist.
You know, I mean, we just fire your ears down. It'll be fun. Any other particular changes you want? Otherwise, I'm just going to try and make us look.
But just so when you're talking about this, this is really hard. Merchants would still be from Lamordia, so we still need to have a
That's what I'm
plan
saying.
of where we are from.
We'll come back to that in a moment. If you want to be like, so to speak, the bodyguard, like, I can keep you in armor. It's just not going to be
Maybe we look more like a Dark Knight.
right. You know, and just sort of a thing. What do you want?
Well,
What's your role?
you know, just to change it up so people wouldn't be wondering. Maybe like, 6'4" or 5", something like that.
Okay, but I mean, do you want to be like, are you a servant? Are you a guard? What's your look?
Well, if you're the merchant, then
He could be my servant. No.
wait a minute.
Squire.
What do weed breakers look like?
Oh, you got a green cloak already.
Yeah,
You wouldn't be a weave breaker?
You would draw attention.
could be an interesting conversation.
You actually know what that Weedbreaker looked like because you saw it in a vision. So
Perhaps if somebody sees us again, they'd be like, "What are you doing here again?"
Or certainly, like, I saw another, you know what I mean? You can say we
On the
saw
other hand,
seen it
what
like
bad things has the weed breaker done? You might want to look like you're wearing the same stuff, but you're a different.
It's a different one.
Yeah, okay.
Like you are looking for your
We can do that. Exactly.
Have you
And
seen somebody like
even if he hears about us, he would hopefully hear, wait, there's another Rennick Knight here. You know, that would be interesting.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
and give you your little sash that you had.
yes.
That guy. You remember your number?
246.
There you go. How about you? What do you want? I know you can change it anytime you feel like it, but since I might as well include you in the base, and
Okay, I should look younger. I should not have a beard. I should probably look like a woman.
I was about to say I have a
Stallion.
yeah. Wow, that's fascinating. Since you started, you doing a performance.
I mean, quite honestly, that could have worked before.
Dang it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can just.
oh, there you go, Strahd.
Oh my God, give Melminster.
Whoa. That would be fascinating.
My, what a big beard you have.
I didn't think we were doing that sort of stream, but
Pretty sure you could see through that.
Elminster.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll just be. I'll darken my skin. Add 3 inches. You know, just sort of make it again not completely different. But you don't look at me and say, "Oh, that's Merrick's."
Sure.
If you met me.
I
Completely
actually
different outfit.
have one question to get a ruling on, and I really don't know because I've never tried to do this before. Can you also use the seeming on me as an additional layer?
Yes,
so
I
if
think so.
one,
Oh, absolutely, yes.
If one goes down, the other stays up.
Yep.
In this cold weather, it's good to.
So I just want the exact same description.
Sure.
But if one goes
But it's
down,
2 layers.
yeah.
Nice.
January, Canada.
Let's go ahead and do that. What is another town in
The big,
Lamordia?
Other than Ludendorff, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Where do merchants normally come from? If merchants are because again, I'd be here long enough that I would have at least encountered some merchants. Like I can even be remembering, there was that guy.
The only other place worth mentioning is New Furstenberg.
New Furstenberg?
Yep.
New Furstenberg.
New
Farts and birds.
Yeah, New Furstenberg.
So anyway,
From Old Furstenberg. We're from Old Furstenberg.
so yeah, you would.
So I thought we just said we're from Furstenberg.
Yeah, it's
Because
New Furstenberg is like super far off, kind of
great.
remote place. So it is probably the best place to say you're from without needing to really know much.
Furstenberg.
Good.
No,
New Furstenberg.
no for
You're right, bro. But I'm from Old Furstenberg before it was cool.
Yes, I met this motley crew in Old Furstenberg.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so that leads us to the next thing. How are we going to find Madame Ava?
My plan is that I'm going to, when we first get through, I'm going to try to see if I can locate her using this amulet that she gave me.
Okay.
Because it once was hers and this is a stretch, but it is the only way. And through her teachings, I'm hoping that we have enough of a connection that this gift will allow me to find her.
Also, in the sense of not wasting our gifts, we weren't thinking about other cards. You want to give us a little reading?
Yeah.
Just gonna go.
They will have to see the reading from Moria.
I'm just gonna say our pursuit of Lady App. What should we be keeping?
Well, we're here and not in Lamordia.
Yeah, something to keeping in mind. What do we face?
If it comes up with an upside down success again, I'm gonna knock the card out of your hand. Just so you know.
It worries me to do this.
Well, I don't mind doing cut, but really, Elise should decide who cuts.
That's true. It feels right.
It feels right. The one with the most connection to Lamordia, the one with the least connection to Lamordia.
I have never been to.
Neither have I.
I've never been to Lamordia.
Could make it super meta and give it to the DM to cut.
I'm way the heck over here.
I'm just
Give you cards, sir.
all right. Just imagine we're gonna run into guys named Igor who have humps on their back.
Yeah, that's right.
Igor's a common family name in Lamordia. Yes, it's
This is going to be freaky.
Boris Igor. You know.
Here we go. Here we go.
There it is.
Here we go.
The first card, she has to slip into it. This is her. We have the grounding card. There's an anchor. This is my home.
It is your home.
This is where I am grounded to. This is also a heavy weight on my being, where I was not able to leave for a very long time. This makes me feel like Ava is here, because this to me is a card that resonates with Lamordia. It is not altogether negative, though, because it tells me that this is a place where we can stay grounded in our emotions, in our plan, and that if we do, hopefully we will be successful. Next card is concealment, which is, as you know, the second card is what we need to do to be successful in each of these, and then to conceal ourselves is the way to be successful here.
We all wear masks. Metaphorically.
It is pictured here, multiple masks. So I think the double masking is applied, but I feel that this plan is a good one. At least not to be detected. To find Ava, I don't know how this will really apply, but I feel like at least we are on the way.
And we can just stop there and we don't need to see the next one. Our plan's going to work. That's what it's
So far, it's making me feel better.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Fire colors card is leadership.
I must need to take action then.
Oh, this is going to go well.
Keep mind of that popcorn.
Yes.
My feeling here, because this is what the inevitable thing will happen, and as the third card. Yes, this could mean that we all need to take leadership, or one of us must be the leader. But in truth, I feel that it actually means that we will need to engage with leadership.
Yeah.
If this is the case,
Oh, yeah, Victor.
I don't know if I should be there. It will have to be so apparent that this disguise is working. These cards tell me that it will. But I don't know. This does not tell me if my locate with my amulet of Ravenkind will work. There is nothing here that says it will, but I must try.
And there's nothing that says that card means Orden. It could be the Dark Lord of Lamordia.
She is the Dark Lord of Lamordia.
Not if she's been removed. By her actions or things that happened before we got it.
Perhaps the Weavebreaker got to her first.
Interesting to find out.
Yes.
This at least tells us we're on the right track here. So
think
that's
so.
at least, I at least feel a little better. I mean, yes, this isn't a great thing, but we kind of knew that was the risk coming in. So it just
will be
tells us.
prepared when we get there.
Yes.
My feeling is that I don't even want to say okay, let's do this.
So,
The long journey through the mists. Once again, you're getting real sick of this. It's just unending ethereal gray as far as the eye can see for 10 hours total.
This gray, unpleasant land.
Before the cold begins to waft its way towards you, snow and ice on the wind buffets against you. And it's not frigid. It's not incredibly deadly in its chill, but it is uncomfortably cold. The air hurts your faces, as it were, except for Elise, who can feel no temperature. But it is frosty. The smell of salt begins to accompany this chill blast, and you hear the lapping of waves, the hissing of steam, the ticking, the talking of clockwork. And snow rises in front of you as you begin to trudge through it, as you find yourself standing in a tundrous environment. There's lots of trees of the evergreen variety. The ground is laden in a nice dusting of snow, and the road ahead is rather more carved out of the snow than any kind of real paving. You can see sort of interesting tracks that aren't really wheels, more like treads that have made their way through, and the snow has been parted. You would assume by some machine of a kind. To one side are rising mountains that arch in different sizes and shapes, almost as if it is the spine of a massive sleeping beast, impossibly vast in its size. The light of what you would know to be Ludendorff is ahead, following the road that weaves and winds its way through the edges of the trees, and you can see the river that also kind of runs along and opens up into the sea of secrets off in the horizon. The chill continues to assault you especially for Loholt, whose armor is getting rather cold very quickly.
I will go ahead and touch his undergarments here, the under armor, or the under padding of his armor, not his undergarment, the garment under his armor.
A little more to the left.
And I will, yeah, there you go. And I'll use prestidigitation.
It feels like it's nice and warm.
Yeah, warm it up.
Should stay warm for an hour. Just like it's ever drier.
Oh,
Nice and cozy.
But the mists begin to fade behind you as you have seemed to have arrived in Lamordia.
Before we jump in there, just basic bit of bookkeeping. Shadowdale, you have some 3rd or 4th level slots you could have used to drop some remove curses on?
You just need only 2 for this. You'd only need 2.
Right. I was saying, in case you're at a 3rd, do you have any slots for him to get 2 of the 2 remove curses down?
Yep. Yeah. My last 2 scrolls.
Right, but we're saying if we can save the scrolls.
Okay.
I have two more slots that I can use that for. As
He recharges his on a...
I know he
short
does.
rest.
So he should go first. Then I can use my last 2, and then I have the scrolls as well.
Sure.
All right, I just wanted to make sure we had him come. Yep. Don't forget that.
Yep.
Thank you. I return you.
All right.
Previously...
So you are attempting to what?
I've done this. You step out. I'm focused on my divination, and I will pull out this amulet and recall the day that she gave this to me. It was the day that I had, in so many words, graduated from her instruction on all of my divination, on all of my curse making, everything, that I became truly part of the family. And I will picture her face as she gave it to me with pride and try to see if I can find her.
Okay. Can you make a wisdom check for me, please?
Wisdom check, yes.
Elise and Ava, we ask you to be braver as you roll to savor the madam of your life. Right, the 8 to that roll.
Oh, I can choose to.
Bardic inspiration.
So I'm going to see if I need it.
There for an hour. I would use it anyway to get the highest roll possible. But then I gave it to you.
Just straight wisdom.
Yes.
That is a 12, so I'm going to use it.
Yes.
Go ahead and do that.
14.
Feels like a failure.
That does, yes.
So I'm going to say, no. Think about it's not about her having owned the amulet. It's about your connection to her. Something, but I'm giving you +7.
Thank you. Do I feel like my boon of fate will also allow me to...
Yes.
Okay.
We have a short rest.
And have you burned your inspiration?
I don't have inspiration. I am not a human
Oh,
being,
we only had a case, yeah.
unfortunately. I used to be a human being.
Yeah, you used to be. Okay.
I was a human.
25?
That was with the 2? The 2? No. 27.
Okay.
20.
I give you 7.
Yeah, that's
14, 21.
21.
Whatever you did there.
Yeah, 14, 21 plus 5. Oh, sorry, 26.
Okay. With a 26, you close your eyes, you reach out to the mists, and you call out to any sort of divination that you can use to try and locate Ava. And you don't get what you expected. Your senses direct you at first to the city of Ludendorff ahead. But as you focus more and more on Ava as a person, as your connection to her, that thread pulling you to Ludendorff begins to tug eastward and more until you are pulled away from Ludendorff and instead to a rising hill far in the horizon of the east over the waters of the Sea of Secrets to Schloss Mordenheim.
I was so hoping we were going to go to New Farkenberg.
Me too. I was really hoping that.
I wouldn't do it.
Yet, even with that, you're not sure why you were pulled to both directions. But the stronger pull
Oh, no.
is Mordenheim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
She should be dismembered.
You were so mean. I would cry.
So what happened? What is it, Elise? What is it?
I felt a connection to her in Ludendorff, but I also felt a connection to her in the worst place possible.
Schloss Mordenheim?
Glad you did your reading there.
No. Yeah, because he said, you didn't say it yet. Never mind. What?
And I was like, kid did his homework.
Like, wow, maybe he was paying attention all those times I was talking to him.
What? Wait.
No.
This means two terrible things to me. The first is that we have to go where Victra is. The second is that that Ava may be in two places.
How is this possible?
Well, I just told you, didn't I?
Sure.
But can you detect
Do I detect life?
the dead?
Yes.
In both places.
That might be worse for me, but okay.
It's a coin flip.
No, we're much closer to one.
And it's not far safer.
We go to Ludendorff first. I would rather chance trying to just get what we need and never having to go.
Is either pull stronger?
Schloss Mordenheim is the stronger pull.
I will say, much as I don't like to delay, Ludendorff seems like the best bet for us to get information about what has this person been doing. If there's a pull to her here, it might at least, even if it's the greater pull in Bordenheim, it may be better to see what we can learn here. And frankly, I know probably a few places where we could at least find a bolt hole to try and rest before going to Bordenheim.
And could we find quicker transport to Castle Mordenheim?
Possibly.
At Ludendorff.
But I'm just
absolutely,
I think going straight into Bordenheim knowing nothing is the worst possible
I
outcome.
would like to also propose that
Flattered, but
Disintegrate?
Yeah.
You're simple. I know you have plan.
mouth. No. I would also like to propose that one of these locations could be a trap.
We could split the party.
No,
yes.
I've thought of this,
Cover more ground that way.
but I did not want to do that to the dungeon master. No. One of these places could be a trap. Now, to discern which one is or isn't.
Mordenheim is a trap. I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
We may have to go there.
In the words of another wizard, of course it's a trap.
How far away is this?
That's the
If it's
third
no
six.
feet is to push. I have an idea.
In the words of another mage.
If you don't mind, I would like to try something. I'm going to reach in
Okay.
to my knowledge, and I'm going to go back in my own time, and I'm going to relive the epic battle when my brother Valharis and I fought the Emperor, and the times when my sword fought off the blade of the Emperor. So I have a familiarity with this blade. I would like to locate object of the blade.
I'm going to be kind. Are you seeking the blade or are you seeking Rennick?
I'll go for Rennick. It makes more sense.
Schloss Mordenheim.
If we wish to fight the Wavebreaker, this Mordenheim is the place where they are.
But this is the issue. We could just go straight there knowing nothing, knowing that it surely is a trap. It is where our enemies are. It is where what we want is. My only question is, do we try and get information of what they were doing, why they were here, before we go in blind?
I would like to add on this. I'm constantly thinking of what these scenarios could be. And yes, you said one very key word. Our enemies are there. Why?
Yeah.
why is the Weave Breaker with Victra?
Yes.
What is it that she may now know? He knows us.
I get to keep the spell slot.
He knows us.
And he knows we're likely guesses.
So he knows we're following him, very likely. So if he has already described me to her, she will already know that I am here.
In addition to that, if somehow the devices of Merrick's have kept you hidden, if we go around another location, which I believe they've given us a crumb to follow, asking questions belies disturbing the dust. Yes, we don't have information, but the more information we find, the more information they will know that we are finding that they're finding.
You're the strategist. I mean, if you think it's wise to just charge in.
These crumbs is a signal of life from Ava.
Perhaps Ava's giving you a signal for suggestion.
We may find good information with me posing as a Rennick Knight, as this will be unique to this area, and people will recognize that one was here last, and they may be willing to give us information about what they were doing.
Exactly.
But Your Majesty, what is it you think? If we just go straight to Mordenheim, what is our approach? Like, why, if we're going in blind, what do we do?
Tactically speaking, in combat.
You're the general, I'm not.
Well, hope. Tactically, my general, the tactician, is not here. He's in Imaria. If we triangulate, no, I'm kidding. My theory is, if they expect us to follow the crumbs, but we're able to deceive this path and get the information anyway, they may not expect us to just go in. So I don't know what the actual decision here is. I need more of your input for this. Technically in combat, if you know that the head of the snake is within reach, but they may have some defenses, are those defenses prepared for you to go and find ways to disable those defenses, or are they straight for the throat?
Blowholt, you've trusted me before here in Ravenloft.
I'll trust you again.
This is the place I know best.
Of course.
These crumbs could just be crumbs, but that is not the feeling that I get.
So,
The feeling that I get is that it's more. And yes, it could be that they cut off her pinky and left it somewhere in Lemuria to try to send us in a different direction. But literally here, it could be her brain in a jar, being kept alive by wires. He knows.
We might need both parts, would also be the other thing I would say. I hate to put it that way, but if we want Ava, we may not be able to do it with just one of these two pieces.
And Blowholt is arguing for surprise, seizing initiative, and striking in an unexpected manner. But if it's a prepared defense and they are waiting for us there, and we have no knowledge of what the traps may look like and what forces there, we're taking a lot of chances.
understood.
If we can go and find out some information, perhaps we can formulate a plan that will allow success.
I honestly hadn't thought of it until Heartbreaker here brought it up, but I have to agree. It is possible it's just a deception, but it is also possible that we're going to need to put her back together. I hate to say it that way.
I agree with you. Now, not that I suggest doing this as well, but just for theory crafting, is there a possibility that we could double dupe them?
How so?
Make it feel like we are going straight for the snake, but still continue to do the information necessary. In other words,
Homunculus?
cleverly splitting the party, or giving them detection that we're coming toward them.
I mean, it's a weird concept. I don't know how long creating a construct works, but I can take a quick check on that. Potentially. I'm not saying it's stinky out there.
While you're checking on that, I would like you to just maybe keep in mind, since things work differently, maybe ixnay on the art breaker, hey?
Yeah, good point. Sorry, it's been a while.
Would it be wise to tip our hand and let them know for sure that we are here? We've been taking efforts to cover. Good point. Being traced. So they may assume we're behind them, but if we remove all doubt...
I think, being logical about this, it makes sense that the Weavebreaker, you were warned. Carlisle told you, oh, don't follow me, it's too late. And here we're seeing what we thought of is probably not too late. He was just trying to steer you off, but he probably is smart enough to know that you're probably going to come anyway. So the point is, the Weavebreaker doesn't know we're here. The Weavebreaker knows it's likely we would be following.
Correct.
We're not coming in as ourselves. I think it's a bit of a stretch to think that they would know you well enough to be able to assume that you are going to be able to locate pieces of Ava. Like that, this is something you're doing because of your past connection. It seems a Weavebreaker is going to assume that kind of magic is possible. How's he know about
Also,
that?
He only knows what he knows when
Exactly.
he was in the room with the cards, right? He was there.
Right.
Yes, but Toril is quite the magician. You can decipher.
So he may have information. Victra does not know where my life has headed since leaving her, but the Weavebreaker does.
I'm just saying that the whole point of this is we are not coming in as ourselves.
Yeah.
We are coming in as someone completely unlike ourselves, so we should not be. It's not like they're going to get messages of, Elminster was walking around, that would be bad. But if we are careful about what we're doing, we're not going to be revealing that we are all here.
I believe we've formulated somewhat of a plan, but Elminster, do you have anything to weigh in on this? Being the oldest and wisest of us all.
Mostly the oldest.
That's like the oldest, yes, I would agree with that. My instinct is to go to Mordenheim and attack, but that's because I want to fix this as fast as possible. That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. As merchants, our disguises, we would go to Ludendorff. We would not be traipsing to Castle Mordenheim.
We may even need passage to Castle Mordenheim, which
Yeah, it's probably not an easy walk, right?
It's on an island.
Oh, well,
So-
yeah.
perhaps booking passage to said place would be an excuse to talk about it. And then, as a Rennick Knight, I can ask questions if people recognize me.
Possibility as merchants. If we can actually make a deal, we're going to ship goods to, we're actually have a legitimate mercantile reason to go to.
Fresh body parts.
Can we?
Yeah, unfortunately, I hate to say it, you're not wrong.
All right.
They need more formaldehyde.
Go to Ludendorff. But might I recommend keeping the Rennick Knight portion of you hidden until it's time to reveal? Just in case spies
Sure,
are in the realms that see anything that can link us to the Weavebreaker.
It's his seeming, so.
Okay, so yeah, we'll tone that down for now.
Reveal it when the party agrees it's the right time.
Okay.
To Ludendorff, then.
Setting off through the snow and the wind and the not necessarily blizzard, but not very pleasant snowy weather.
Prestidigitation.
You continue,
I'm fine.
You continue your way along the road as the ticking and talking of Ludendorff's clockwork mechanisms looms ever closer to the next session.